Welcome to Here for the Horses. I am glad you're here for the horses. So today we're going to talk about a couple clips that I had put up this this week. Okay, we're going to talk about homework that was turned in. We're going to talk about our little journey with Mac, returning Mac. And then we're going to talk about our homework for this week. Did I already say that? Okay, we're gonna do all those things. So glad you're here, and then we'll obviously open it up to questions as we normally do. Okay. First thing, what should we do first? Shall we talk about homework for this week? Do you want to know what it is? Okay, homework for this week. I'm gonna pull it up here. Hold on. Well, I'll do screen share first. Share screen. Oh, and then I had it saved under my photos, I think. Yep, somewhere in there. Nope. Here it is. Okay. Let me move this thing. Okay. This week's homework, the sacrum rub, point of buttock pull. Okay. Point of buttock pull and the sacrum rub. So let's, oh, this is good. This is actually what I just sent to that other woman. Okay. So point of buttock pull. Can everyone see this photo?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is the point of buttock. We just worked on the point of hip right here, right? Loosening all that fascia up around there. We worked on the glutes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay. Now we're going to take, do you guys see how this is the semitendinosus? It attaches here. Okay. The semimembranosus, maybe I'll find a picture of that. Do I have a picture? Oh, no, let's take a look at this one real quick. This is the bicep femoris. So do you see how the bicep femoris attaches to the point of buttock also? Okay, so it's a huge attachment point. Okay, now let me find, let's do semimembranosus. Whoops. And then always write, come on, Bing, don't do that to me. See, always write equine or you're going to get the human equine after that. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Okay, so do you see the semimembranosus? Semimembranosus attaches to the inside of that point of buttock. So do you see the difference? Here's the bicep femoris down here. And then this one really kind of just attaches right to it. All right. So when you're doing the point of buttock pull, you are cupping, you know, you're going to start up at the tail dock and kind of work your way down, but there's no bone up there. So you're going to cup, and then when you feel it get hard, you're going to cup that little bone and all the muscle that attaches to it, and you just gently pull out. Okay. And then you keep going down. So it makes those insertion points at that point of buttock loosen up. All right. So they can get really tight and they get stuck. So then it's kind of like the muscles don't really flow that nice over that point of buttock. You want them to be kind of loose and soft and supple. So you're starting up by the tail dock, pull it, pull it. It's normally pretty loose up there. Pull it, pull it. I like to put my other hand on the point of hip or on their hip somewhere, right? So you're kind of facing the horse here, hand here, pointed buttock at the tail. Pull it toward you, pull it toward you, pull it toward you. You're gonna feel it get harder. That's the point of buttock, the point that sticks out in their butt in the back, okay? And then those muscles attached to it as it goes around. So then you're gonna pull that towards you, pull that towards you. Keep going all the way down their little butt cheek, okay? Loosen that whole hamstring up like that. That's excellent. That is an excellent, excellent move for a lot of horses. If they get tight hamstrings, that's the one. And then you can go up and down. So you can go, you know, sometimes I'll push my fist into it and go down the hamstring. Okay. Rub up and down, scratch up by the tail dock. So, you know, taking a look at this horse again. Oh, where was that? Did I already close that out? Hold on. So taking a look at this horse. Kelly's horse here. Heather's here. Okay, so see this photo? Okay, so you're gonna put your hand right here and you're gonna pull this toward you. This is probably gonna be like okay, except this section right here. This is where the sacrum rub is gonna come in really well on this horse. That's what this horse needs, the sacrum rub. So sacrum rub is you're starting here and you're going up to here. Isn't that a coincidence? That whole area needs help on this horse. So rub, 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 rub. Now what you're going to feel on this particular horse is this is going to be a giant, hard, packed, really big speed bump. Like, you know how there's some speed bumps that are like short and jarring, and then there's those other ones that are really big and like you kind of want to launch off of them? That's what this one is. This is a big speed bump, like one of the flatter ones, but it's really, really hard. This whole section of tissue right here is going to be really hard. Okay. And then this is going to be kind of sunk in and tight. So the sacrum rub is going to be huge for this horse. Okay. And then for the point to buttock pull, you're going to loop your fingers in their little butt crack and pull it toward you, pull it toward you, pull it toward you, pull it toward you, pull it toward you. Now this, if you can't tell, this is where the point of buttock is on this horse. It's pretty low. Okay, this is pretty low. Arabians is like way up here. Okay, and then your quarter horse is about here. This is a thoroughbred, this horse here. But I think that when this, and do you guys see this is drawn tight right here? When this pelvis gets kind of in a better alignment and this stops pulling down and this stops being enlarged, this point of buttock is going to be right around here. Okay, this seems really low to me. So I want this point of buttock up here a little bit. Okay. And then, so pull toward you, pull toward you, pull toward you, go all the way down. I guarantee this horse is tight right here. Guarantee it. I guarantee you that leg range of motion going forward, tight. Right? You know that's tight. Okay. So that is new share. What does that mean? That is the, please stop. There we go. That's the point of buttock pull. Okay, it's easy, it's effective. Horses like it. All right. And then the sacrum rub is just, you know, I stand behind him if you're comfortable doing that. If not, you got to do it one-handed. So I like to do it 2 at a time. So stand behind the horse, get your little hooks, your little rakes out, and just, they'll generally like that a lot. Okay. They'll generally like that a lot. And then next week, what we're going to do is we're going to do, the tail and get all the remainder of the hind end loosened up. And then we're going to go right into leg range of motion and free the hind end up completely. Leanne. You're gonna love it.
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay, that's the plan. All right. So that's your homework for this week. Although, if you have more to do, that you haven't done for the glutes, do the glutes, do the, fascia work on the point of hip. I also need to throw one in there for the tensor fascia latte, although I take care of that, a fair amount in the leg range of motion, but I'm gonna throw something in with that too. Cause I don't think that's in the clinic. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at, does anyone have questions on the homework, first of all? You can just unmute if you do. Okay, pretty easy. Huh? Leanne's like, whoops. Okay, you're muted now. Now you're muted.
Okay, unmuting. All right.
There.
So I don't know, this is black and white. My color's not working, but you were talking about the biceps
TFL. Yeah.
and there's a line right between these two. And on some of my horses, that's a pretty deep line.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're working the point of buttock, does that work that at all? Or is that something when you get into the legs you work?
Point of buttock, no, that'd be more the TFL.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. All right, let's take a little bit of a look at some of the homework. Actually, Mac, you guys been paying attention to that? Oh my gosh. He's doing so good. So good. I didn't even get my hands on him yet. So irritated. Huh? He's turning around big time, isn't he, Jenny?
Maggie Smith, Dame Maggie Smith.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He's turning around so much. I mean,
It's crazy.
yes, and he like slaps almost all the time now.
Told you.
Every once in a while, he'll decide he's going to spook and bolt.
Yeah.
But it's very rare now that he does that.
Yeah, that poor little thing. I mean, it's a similar situation to Chester. It was just, that was their existence.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't being listened to. And that's what happens when they're not listened to. It's really hard on them. And they act in ways like, why did he buck that little kid off? Because they weren't being listened to. He wasn't being listened to. You know, it's really clear for a lot of us to see tension in horses, but other people don't see it or they ignore it. Okay, so huge turnaround with that little horse, that little pony. I'm looking forward to the rest of his body. Yeah, good job, Jenny. I'm looking forward to the rest of his body relaxing. Okay, so I talked a little bit about how well, we'll just take a look at it. I don't need to talk about it. I'll go here. So there we go. Let's see. Oh wait, it's got to be on the other one, isn't it? Yeah, it's gonna be on here. I got Boone's up. Leanne, you're next. I got yours processing. Okay, yeah, oh yeah, and then how special he laid down. That was the first time he laid down? 4.5 weeks since he got there and he laid down. Wow.
He laid down and
Wow.
he did not pace at all that night.
I mean, imagine that, you guys, how much better he must feel. Crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh yeah, Martha. She was interesting. Okay, so yeah, so what I was talking about with this, hold on. Oh yeah, see, I'm bringing it up right now. This pointy butt cheek up here, the glute right there, does everyone see that? That's too pointy. Okay, it's too pointy. This hip and pelvis angle, it's too aggressive. So he should have a big round pony butt, okay? So this should be lower and this should be higher, but his pelvis is kind of at a funny angle because he's so tight, very similar to the picture of that other horse. He just doesn't have the super tight hamstrings that other horse does. Okay, so this will be really good when we get to the leg range of motion. Keep working on these glutes, and then he needs some TFL work here. So I'll get that video done and thrown that in there too. Okay. But I expect to see, this is why I told Jenny to take photos. I expect to see this to chill out a little bit. It's too much. He's got a nice little muscular body though, you know what I mean? But it's just too tight. Everything's too tight. Okay. But big improvement on him. Big improvement. Yep. Oh yeah, and then did everyone see this video? I put at everyone. So I want to make sure that when you're doing the glute check, don't bounce your fingers. And I really need to almost redo that video because I don't explain it well enough. Because every time I do a clinic, people always bounce their fingers too. So I got to figure out how to explain it better. But check that video out if you haven't seen that one. Okay. Oh yeah, and then Zanzibar. So Marge, tell us a little bit about, this is going a couple weeks back, but you were, oh, you know what? We should show it. Hold on. When I gave you the advice to, it was Zanzibar that was mad about the ribs, right? Yep. Left side, I
It's on
think.
his left side. Yeah, he didn't like me just raking and rubbing. And then you said,
Yep, but he was cool
slap.
on the other
And when
side.
yeah, the other side he was. And then, but then you said slap him. And I went back and slapped him. He started yawning.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like those extroverted horses because they tell you
Yeah, he's
so
yeah.
much so
Yeah.
quickly. And they're just very extreme about it. You know, he's very like, oh, you're trying to kill me. Okay.
Yes,
So let's
he
watch him
definitely
here.
tells you what he's thinking.
Yeah, I mean, he acts like it's just, it's torture, right?
Yeah.
Look at him, he's so mad. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But, he just needs, gosh darn it, my voice, hold on. I got too many screens going on here. There we go. This thing out of here. So he was waiting right here for you to come around and rub those ribs. He already knew he was mad. Okay. So right there, I would have gone right into a slap. Just boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom,
I should
boom,
have
boom.
done. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Yeah, it immediately. I want you guys to get in the habit of that because it's, and it, you know, it's really interesting. He wouldn't like that on the other side at all. So
No,
right there,
no.
boom, do. Because he's protecting that area. That area is tight. He had something going on there. He didn't want you messing with it. So just real quick, go into a slap. Anytime you see that out of him, anywhere on his body,
Yeah.
just go into a slap and it'll help him out. Okay. So see him?
Yeah.
And that's why in the thing I had told her, go ahead and slap that. And then she wrote back, she went to slap it and it was yawning.
Yeah, he was yawning. Yeah. He started
Yeah,
yawning.
right away. And have you done it since?
I did some today, and he wasn't reacting bad today.
Exactly. So you got it. That's all it took. One shot.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
He was definitely,
Okay.
definitely not happy.
Yeah. They're funny because both of them get like that in certain areas, you know, and it tells you they have tension there and they're protecting it. Okay.
And he did that on his left glute too. On the
Oh,
left
okay.
side of his glute. I think he did.
Yeah, so that's probably all connected then.
Yeah. And then got better.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, what else were we gonna look at? Hold on. Mac's doing so good. Let's see. Boone's video just got put up. That was easy. No problem at all. Nice loose glutes on him.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Oh, okay, that was it. All right, let's take a look at the winning your horse's heart. See what we have on there. Okay, tail articulation. Oh, yeah, this was the other one. All right, hold on. So we're going to talk about when your horses move during massage. Do I want to just, oh, I'm going to play it for you. Never mind. Let me find it first. So when your horses move, there's generally two reasons. Does anyone know what they are? I know you guys know what they are.
Because they want you to do a different area, or else they don't
Yes, they
like
could
where
be
you
wanting
are.
you to go to a different area. That's one.
Or they don't want you touching that area.
Yep, that's right. Okay, so let's take a look at this video right here where I go into it. Hold on. Hold on. Share screen. Boop. Sure. Okay. Everybody can see this. And everyone can hear it. I'm going to put the volume up a little bit. Here we go. A clip of a horse that kept walking out from a spot that I was working on. And I explained that generally when I'm working on horses, there's two reasons that they'll move around. And one of them is that they want you on a different spot. And the other one is they don't want you on the spot you're currently on. Okay. So I'm gonna do a little sidebar real quick and talk about how I like to massage horses first, because if you have certain situations, you're not gonna know either one of those things, okay? So how I like to massage a horse, well, ideally, it would be on a tropical island somewhere at Liberty on the beach, all right? So that would be ideal. Seeing that doesn't happen very often, my second most ideal way to massage is going to be at Liberty in a pen or corral or something that they can move around. Now, again, that's also not super common that I can do that just because I'm at some, busier barns and stuff like that. So generally the way that I massage and prefer to massage horses is halter and lead rope in a large corral, pen, or pasture, okay? Because I want them to feel like they could walk off and come back if they want to, okay? So I want them to express everything that they're feeling. That's how I know and learn much more about them, okay? So let's walk our way back how from ideal, okay, beaches of a tropical island, to I don't really want to do this, but I will in some circumstances. Okay, so ideally beach, tropical island at Liberty. Then corral paddock with a halter and lead rope is how I normally do it. Okay, in their stall, that's okay. Again, I would probably go back to without a halter if I know the horse. But stalls also will restrict them a little bit. They can't really walk off and come back. They are kind of stuck in, generally horses will go in kind of one direction in their stall. So I want them to go in any direction that they want to. Then wash rack is not really how I wanna do it, but if I am in a wash rack, I'm gonna do it with halter and lead rope. And then my very least favorite way is to have them in cross ties. Okay, if you have a horse in cross ties, you're really cutting out a lot of communication that they could give you, that they want to give you. You're also, some horses, although they are comfortable in cross ties, they're not going to express themselves. Why? Because they can't. They can't express themselves. They can't move around. They can't even look like this. They can't scratch their rib cage. They can't throw their leg out and rub their face on their knees. Now, if you don't know why that's important, then follow some more of my videos and I'll talk about it. That's a release. And I want to know when they do it, what part of their body that I'm working on, when they, I could keep going forever. But anyways, my least favorite is in cross ties, in a wash rack or something like that. Okay, so I don't like to do cross ties. Do I do sometimes in certain circumstances, but I try to not do that. Okay, so if you are in a paddock with a lead rope and halter and they are free to do what they want, they will tell you a lot of things. One thing that they might tell you is that they want you to work on a certain part of their body. Okay, so how do you know if they're wanting you to work on a certain part of their body? Well, if they push their butt into you and present it to you as a gift, like scratch this, okay, then you obviously know that they want you to rub their butt. So they also do that with the shoulders a lot, right? So a lot of you have probably had your horses kind of be like, you want to rub my shoulder? Do you? Do you? Okay. So those are kind of some things that you want to look for. But let's say you're working on a horse's back, okay? You're working right here. And they want you to work on their withers, okay? What they're gonna do is they're just slowly gonna creep you up onto the wither, and then when you get to the spot they want you to work on, they're gonna stop, and then they're gonna look at you, okay? It's really fun. And it's funny because they do it real sly, so they do it real slow, and it's almost like they're searching for you to find the spot, and then when you're on it, they go, oh yeah, right there. And they won't move, and they kind of look at you like, rub that spot. All right, and then when you start rubbing it, generally you'll get a nice reaction from them, or they'll kind of go like, yeah, that's the spot. Okay, so when they want you on a spot, they're gonna slowly move you onto it, okay? Now, let's say you're on a spot, they don't want you on it. They're kind of quickly going to go, oh, I just don't really want you right there. They'll do it so slyly that you almost don't catch it, okay? So that horse in the video, and I'll try to remember to put the video that I'm referring to in the notes somewhere if I put this up, but he just would walk forward, and you could tell that he wasn't walking forward to another spot because he did it a little too fast, and he would have gone any direction to get me off that spot, and he had done it a couple times. So you can always go back and double check, like don't, bet your house on it if they just do it one time. But if you go to a spot and they go, oh no, I don't want you there. And you go, oh, that's funny, and you kind of go back to that spot, you start rubbing it again, and they go, oh, I don't really want you there. Okay, it's real mild, it's hard to catch sometimes, but the more you start paying attention to it, and let your horse move when you're massaging them. Okay, we have a tendency to micromanage our horses, we don't even know we're doing it, but they go to take a step and we go, no, don't do that. Okay, or they go to look that way and they go, no, don't do that. Let them do their stuff, because all of that is going to show you something about what they're feeling, what they want, and what they don't want. Okay, so I hope that helps. What I'd like you to do now, I'm going to give homework, is I want you to go out to your horse or somebody else's horse, man. Give somebody else's horse a gift today and go massage them. But go out to your horse, start rubbing your horse in different areas of the body and see if any of these things happen. And then come back and tell me, hey, I found out that my horse really likes this and doesn't really want me working on that. All right, there's your homework. If you choose to accept it, let me know how it goes. Talk to you guys later. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. Should we watch that clip real quick? Did everyone see it of that big gray? Everyone saw it? Okay, yeah. So there's two ways that they kind of show you, there's two differences that are the key giveaway to whether they want you off a spot. If they want you off it, they're so good at this, but they just kind of go zip, or they'll go zip. It doesn't matter what direction they move, they just kind of move. Also, if you're on the neck and they don't want you on that part of the neck, all they have to do is go, oh, it's over there. And then all of a sudden your fingers are 4 inches lower than they were. Or they'll go, what's over there? And then you're way down here on their neck. Okay. They're really good at it. All right. So when they want you off a spot, it's generally a pretty quick move, and they don't care where you end up. It's as long as you're not on the spot that they don't want you on. Now, the main way to tell if they want you on a spot is they're really precise about where they're putting you. So they're going to do it slow, because they can't do it fast and get you right on the spot, right? They have to do it kind of slow, like they'll just take one slow creeping step and then, oops, oh, I'm sorry. Are you on my butt again? Okay. Or, oh, are you on that spot on my shoulder that I want you to rub raw because I love it so much? All right. So they're going to do it real slow, and they're going to stop you right where they want you. And then generally when you get there, they enjoy whatever you start doing. Okay. So they'll kind of like look at you like, yeah, that right there. That's where I want you. All right. And then, you know, they'll also switch sides on you and present a shoulder to you. Okay. I have the more clear ones will do it like that. Okay. Are there any questions on that? Because I do want you to do the homework this week. I want you to pick a horse, any horse around, and see if you can catch, like, do it at Liberty. Okay, do it in a paddock and see if they move around. I'm not joking. Sometimes I'll go, I just want to see what this horse does. And I walk out there and I go, hey, how you doing? And I go like this. And I stand in one spot and I see if anything happens. Try it. Try it on your horses. See if they come over and go, oh, you look like a nice scratching post. Let me come over and they'll come over if you hold your shoulder like this, and they'll, you know, if you hold your hand like this, they'll put their shoulder in you and they'll go back and forth on it. You know, you're like a custom scratching post. All right. And then also when you're doing your homework or anything like that, see if they move you off a spot. So generally, if they don't like their face worked on, they'll move their face, you know, oh gosh. They don't want you working on their face. They do it a lot on the neck. If there's a tight area on their neck and they know it, they just go, oh, what's that over there? Nothing. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're really good at it. Ribs, they'll kind of just, you know, move around, move away. All right. So try that for your homework also this week. See what you find out. And then also, what did you guys think about? I do want to talk a little bit about how I prefer to massage horses. All right, most of you do, you know, lead rope, halter, and a pen somewhere. That's pretty standard. That's about 90% of what I do. Okay. I like to have it to where, you know, if I hit a spot, especially if I don't know the horse super well, if I do hit a spot and they want to come around and tag me, I got a lead rope I can pull on and bring their head toward me. Okay. But I have a couple horses. I have an Andalusian mare that I work on that is she was so stoic when I met her. The owner said, she doesn't really like body work. And I went, we'll see about that, won't we? And she said she really does not like her face touched or from her shoulder forward. She just doesn't like it. I go, thank you for that bit of information. I'm going to go ahead and start at her hind end. Okay. By the time I got to that horse's head, she was like, do what you do. And the owner was like, all right, you just sold me. Okay. So easy. That was easy. I don't have to prove anything. Start in the back, work your way up. Okay. So She was not even breathing when I got there. She wouldn't even like look at me, eye contact, tough mare. She knew I was there to do something to her and she wasn't real happy about it. I'm like, that's all right, let me start at the back. Okay. So work my way forward. By the time I got up to the head, she was mine. She was mine. She loved me from that day forward. It took one session. That's it. That horse loved me from that day on. Okay. And then the next time I came back, I started at her head where I normally do. It wasn't an everyday thing. It was just one time deal. Okay. But ideally what I want to do is I want to be paddock, like large paddock too, not some of the runs that horses have are real narrow and long. Okay. It's still not the best. Okay. So kind of large paddock, round pen, pasture. Now, if you have, there's always like, I can or can't do this situations. Okay. So at Liberty, you know, on a beach somewhere, obviously you can't do that with too many horses. It's not realistic. Okay. So large pasture at Liberty, probably realistic. I mean, Leanne, you kind of do that anyways with your horses. It's realistic for some horses that stay with you a lot, but in general, they'll tap out at a certain point in time, or you do kind of have to have a little control of them. So that's pretty unlikely also. Halter and lead rope in a paddock, the best, you know, because you have a small amount of control. You don't want to use it. Lead rope over the back. Don't hold on to lead rope. Only use it when you need to. Allow them with the lead rope over their back to walk off if they want to. Okay, unless it's like a 10-acre pasture, maybe don't do that. But if you're in a round pen, let them walk off. Don't follow them. What are they walking off for? Find out. They're walking off because they don't want to release within 4 feet of you. Okay, that's your stoic horses. Very common, very common, very common. Okay, they're walking off because they're done. That's good to know too. What if they tap out at 45 minutes? Okay, thoroughbreds tap out pretty quick, 45 minutes, I'd say. Not all of them, right? But if they're going to tap out at 45 minutes, you need to know that. So if they walk off and don't come back, good to know. You got to get your work done faster or be a little more entertaining. Okay. If they walk off and go to the bathroom, that's interesting. Okay. Because that's a physiological part of the process. Once getting a massage, they go to the bathroom afterwards. Almost always. A full body. Okay. So that sped that process up. If they walk forward and then walk back on the other side, switch is what they just told you. Okay, all things that you would never know if you don't let them walk off. So feel free to let them walk off. It's cool. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. Okay. So one reason I wouldn't do that. So let's say they don't have a good spot for that. Okay, so if you go to certain barns, all barns are set up a little bit different. So the round pens being used, there's horses all over the place. Okay, in the arena, there's horses in the hallways. Okay, so you're going to go to the stall. So you want to be somewhere the horse is comfortable. That's another aspect of it. Obviously, you don't want to be like, hey, we're going to go in the wash rack. Remember your enemy, the wash rack? Although I have fixed a horse in a wash rack before, because the owner said, she's freaking out in the wash rack every time. I go, you know what she needs in the wash rack? A massage. Let's go. And that fixed that one day too. That was just a wild idea. But take them somewhere they're comfortable. So if they hate people in their stall, don't do it in their stall. They don't want you in there. That's their safe space. If they hate their neighbor, have you guys ever seen that? Where horses hate their neighbor? They're like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. Okay. Don't massage a horse with their neighbor over there that's annoying them. That's not a nice massage. Okay. But general horses are happy in their stall, so that's cool. If you're in a stall, they cannot move normally. Horses do not move normal in a stall. They generally always go in one direction. Rarely do they go the other direction. You know what? How about this? When you're taking a shower next, pay attention. Do you turn the same direction every time or do you go back and forth? I bet 80% of you go the same direction when you turn in the shower or when you sleep at night. Do you roll over the same direction? That's why you always end up with the covers and your husband's freezing, or what's happening there, okay? Think about things you do. Start paying attention because generally we have a side. We always turn in one direction when we're doing something. It's weird when you start paying attention to it. Okay, so they generally go the same direction in the stall all the time. That is not normal. That is not going to tell you anything about massage. Okay, when you're doing that session with them. Wash rack with halter and lead rope. I do that. If that's the most convenient, I'll do that. They will not walk off and show you different parts of their body because they can't. But that's when you'll find the pointing begins. Okay? So if they can't tell you one way, they're going to tell you another. So that's when pointing begins. Let me point to it, seeing I can't move my body around and put you where I want you. They'll point to it. Okay? Wash rack with cross ties or a cross tie tack up area. I just don't like it. I just don't. You are pretty much at that point in time saying, I am giving you a massage. I hope you enjoy it. There's not a lot they can tell you about the massage. You're pretty much massaging them. I know a ton of professionals that massage horses in cross ties, and I feel bad for the horse. Even if it's a good massage, there's no communication. There's nothing going back and forth. Okay, they can't even, I saw a TikTok recently of a very good massage therapist. She's super, super famous on Facebook, tons of followers. The horse she was working on, I should have tagged this and brought it up. Maybe I'll find it and then save it and show you guys next week. But the horse she was working on was standing there, and then all of a sudden it like stretched out funny, and it did this thing with its front legs, and then it went to stretch down like this, but it couldn't because it was in cross ties. And I was like, that's the downward dog that horse wants to do to completely stretch because you just released a ton of tension in its body, but it can't do it because it's in cross ties. Oh, that sucks, man. That's like when someone's about to sneeze and you go, hey, are you gonna sneeze? Okay, you ruin it. Don't ruin my sneezes, man. Okay, so that horse went to do this cool downward dog stretch and he couldn't do it fully because he was in cross ties. I hate that. Okay. But when will I use cross ties? Well, if I need a horse to stand still, so I have some that tell me what to do to the point where I can't do anything unless they're tied. Okay. So that little pony that my son did the video on that pretty much just slams her button to me the whole time. She was getting real close to getting tied. It's funny, but you know, listen, I got to get my work done. So I'm pretty good at like knowing when she's going to do that. But I might have to tie her, especially if I found something on her body that I needed to work out. Okay. Horses that are in so much pain, they are going to bite me and I can't trust the owner. And I really need to work on a spot. They go in cross ties and I get my work done. And then the next time I come back, we'll reassess. Okay. So I had a little gray Arab that just used to try to bite me all the time. And generally I will karate chop their face and I only have to do that once. And then they know like, oh, Boss Mare over here ain't going to let me do that. But he wasn't getting it. Like he was so overwhelmed And I go, it's okay, buddy, but you're going in cross ties, I'm sorry. And then, I think he went in cross ties 2 times, and then after that, he was fine. Okay, so when they're overwhelmed, when they're in a fair amount of pain, or when I just need them to stand still and let me do my job, let me do my work. So when I'm not looking for feedback from them, I know what I need to do, and I need them to stand in a spot to do it. Also, if I have to, in general, if I have to get on a stool, that goes in cross ties. So if you see me on a stool, they're in cross ties, because I don't want to get knocked off of a stool. Okay, so there are always situations where you will have to adjust to what you need to do with the horse. You don't need to feel bad about it. Just do what you have to do. So some people who massage horses in cross ties, maybe that's the way they're comfortable. Okay, right? But I'm quite comfortable with a horse in a paddock and pasture. All right. Feed time is not the best time to massage a horse unless you have specific work to do and you're like, yeah, eat. I don't need your opinion, just eat. Okay, that's fine. All right. So those are kind of the way I like to do it. And there's always situations where, you know, you'll see videos where I have horses in cross ties. You'll see videos where, you know, I have them in a wash rack in, you know, all these different things. So it just depends on the situation. All right. Anyone have questions? That's all I got for today. Any cool things happen this week? Yeah, tell us.
Just a little short story. I went on a trail ride yesterday and Lexi's doesn't respond great. She steps away from me a lot when I work on homework, and that's okay. I don't care. I'll try something else. But she was standing hitched to the trailer and there was people around and they were interested because we were at Bridle Trails and there was tons of people. And so we were being equine advocates, you know. And so I just stood there and I just put, you know, both hands over her, the point we were supposed to do, our homework. Yeah. And I just stood there and just quietly just while I was looking around, and all of a sudden she's just licking and chewing and sticking her tongue
No
out.
way.
Yeah. And that's just not like her. It takes her forever to do a lick and chew when I work on her. So I'm like,
Wow.
I guess I have some work to do. So that
Well,
was
yeah,
cool.
see, it sounds like she didn't even know that was tight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it came out of nowhere for her too.
It
You know what I mean?
did. It was great. So that was pretty fun. It was fun just to
That's
know that
awesome.
that's what was happening.
Yeah, for sure. Did you feel it move under your hand or not?
Not really. No,
Okay.
I just was doing this and all of a sudden I see her just hanging her tongue out.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, how are your horses been?
Well, honestly, Betty, who, you know, I sent one video one time, the head thing. And
Yep.
And one cool thing is that I've had her for a year now as of yesterday. So that was
Oh,
fun.
yay.
Mhm.
It's an anniversary.
And she would always let me, like, when I first got her, I could touch her everywhere, but just quickly, like, go ahead, check me over, but I don't, and I want to be close to you. Like, she wants to be close, but she never wanted me to linger. Like, I've never used a brush on her, although this week I finally used a brush on her. But she
Nice.
has totally, like, she loves me to pet her now. Just stroke her. Like, I
Mhm.
was trying the glute homework because she looks super tight to me. She always has. And she kept walking off. She kept walking off. My other horse, Buddha, who's a 2-year-old Mustang, I can do anything to him at liberty. Like, he just loves to be touched anywhere, everywhere, all the time. But Betty's come a long way in terms of, and she'll even, like, lean into me now when I'm, you know, rubbing on her, massaging her, whatever. She'll lean into it when she likes it. So
Oh, that's so
come a long
cool.
way. Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, that's huge. We
Mhm.
always need to have one of those Buddhas, you know what I mean? Because when you have is it Betty? Betty's the name?
Betty is the stoic one, what your guys
Yeah,
are.
when you have a
stoic
Betty
one.
for too long, it starts hurting your own self-esteem.
Yeah.
So you need a Buddha in your life. The Lord
Yeah.
sent me Chester because Georgia was just like, I'm Georgia, you know? And Chester's like that big golden retriever. He's like, you know what? He came running in Nickering the other day, and I was just like, what a sweet little angelic horse this horse is. He was just the cutest thing ever. He just runs in to say hi. And then I go, hey, buddy. And he goes, hey. And then he runs back out. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I go, Georgia, you know, you need, but the Georgias of the world and the Bettys of the world teach you so much,
Yeah. that's-
so much.
Yes.
And
yes.
then when you do get to that place where you're, oh, by the way, we almost did a flying lead change, Georgia and I today. And I thought, oh my gosh, it is happening. So, you know, when you get those victories with the harder, more stoic horses, it's pretty sweet. It's a pretty sweet victory. So right on.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Heather, how you doing? Doing good? How's your herd? She's like, they're good. All right, well, that's all I have, guys. Thanks for showing up. You got your homework. And yeah, if you have more on the other stuff that you want to do, go ahead and send that in too. And then I'll pick those videos out. I already have yours done, Leanne. I just need to put it up. Okay? All right. Thanks, guys. Bye,
Thank you.
Carol. See you
Bye.
guys later.